Hello, my friends. This is Pernilla Lillerose from Divine Feminine Flow. And I just created a little video in the kitchen today making kraut crackers. And I just showed on a little video, so short, how to do it. And I felt moved to wear my beautiful ears. And I thought, well, why don't I just make one more right now? What I like to talk about is non-reaction. Non-reaction is something I have practiced for many, many years, and it's not something that comes easy. It is not suppression. It is not bypassing. That's something that's being practiced by many spiritual seekers in the early days because we haven't learned yet how to actually transform it and be with it in a very different way and not just react to the world. So I just want to dip in a little bit today and talk about why that has been so important for me. When I had my big awakening back in Denmark, a big explosive one, it lasted for a number of months. That was because I started reading a book called Practicing the Presence by Joel Goldsmith from The Infinite Way. So I have been with his teachings basically ever since. It just fills my soul, it nourishes me, it reminds me, it helps me surrender, it deepens, because for me it's an ongoing process. I don't know if any of you, you have the big boom and it's over. That's certainly not how it's been for me. So it's been an ongoing process of shedding the layer of the identity called Pernilla, which I had identified with. And what Joel Goldsmith has talked about a lot is that non-reaction is basically the prerequisite for the healing that he did. I'm not at that stage yet, but I'm practicing every day to really shed everything so I can see what is already here, to see that God is everywhere. There is only God here. There is only Spirit here. Only Spirit fills this space. And I can't see that all the time. I have to practice. So the practice is that when the world comes with its insanity, and I think we can all agree that it's getting more and more crazy out there. So the tendency can be to react more and more to what's going on in the world, have opinions about it, resist it, be upset about it, argue about it, feel righteous about it, all that stuff. I feel scared about it. These are all the reactions that basically keep us hooked into the world as we perceive it. I want to talk more about what I'm going to say now in other videos, but I'm just going to mention it here. The world that we see, we've all heard it, is an illusion, but nobody really knows what that means and how it all works. Joel Goldsmith, he certainly did. He could see through it, and things shifted so incredibly. People got healed, things harmonized, because he could see through the illusion. And the illusion, he said, cannot be externalized, or not an illusion cannot be externalized. It's basically all happening inside in our mind. And when I heard the word, the 5 sense mind, as one thing, there was a huge click for me. And it basically means, how Joel also talked about it, is everything we can see, hear, taste, touch, smell, 5 senses, that is the mind. That's all happening in the mind. But it seems like it's being projected out. And the more we engage with what we think is going on out there, we just keep sending more and more energy into it. And it's not going to change that way. It's just not. We might see things shifting and changing, but it's still the illusion or the 5 sense mind that is projected out there as if it is a reality, but it's not. So the practice for me has been to learn to not react to the outer. And that's not easy. It's like really not easy, especially today. What helped me was to engage in the practice, which I'm also sharing, which I share with my clients in my classes, is actually something I learned when I became a Hakomi therapist. Hakomi is an assisted self-study. So it helps you become mindful of what is going on inside. So here comes the thing happening in the world, and then there is an immediate reaction inside. And what we normally do is identify with that reaction, and we throw it back at the world and engage out there. So what happens is that it just stays. It gets fed by our reaction. But learning to be present with your reaction, that is a game changer. When you have a reaction of, let's say, anger, the tendency is to go, wow, wow, and project it out and blame and whatever we do. And then you have that whole game going that seems out there, but it's all going on in here. And that takes a long time to realize. For me, it's taken forever, and I'm still practicing. But I do notice that there is an ongoing deepening into it and seeing it. But when you learn to be present with your reaction, with your feelings, and not battle them, not believe them, not resist them, not suppress them, but create a space where you can breathe into it. And I have taught this in my, I call it the ALL formula. ALL stands for allow, listen, love. That's how I have been dismantling it in myself, and I help my clients learn that practice, to just be present with it instead of battling it, resisting it, believing it. So then when you do that, it can start slowing down, it can start relaxing. And then you have much more access to space, to presence, to who you really are, because you become the observer of it. And the more you become the observer, the more you can kind of stretch your ability to be present with what shows up inside. And I may go over it a little fast today, but I just am putting out little drops, little pebbles, just to see, if it resonates with anybody and it can be helpful. So learning to not react, it's really amazing. Like when something happens, is it helpful for me to react? If I get all upset and, and angry or scared, is it helpful? I'm not going to say yes or no, because there might be times where it might be a good thing. I'm not having an opinion about it right now. I just don't want to make it a cut and dry thing. But the more I have experienced it in myself, that I can just drop into my presence, which I have talked about before, and just be here I notice something happens. There's just a present, and I can kind of feel, I can begin to see through what's going on out there. And so instead of engaging and resisting, fighting it, battling it, reacting to it, I just stay here. And something shifts. It may not be obvious to anybody right away, but I feel it. It feels like when I drop in here, there's that presence that just kind of goes out, if that's the right word. I call it oozing. That's been my favorite word. It feels like I'm just being, and the being oozes peace, presence, kind of helps dissolve what my five senses are seeing. I don't know if that's a big mouthful, but I want to just stop here for today and just invite you to notice how often you react. It can be in any way, shape, or form. Just take that on as a little practice and just notice how quickly you react. It doesn't even have to be to the news or to what's going on in the world. It can be anything. It can certainly be yourself, the things we do to ourselves. That's why I became a self-love mentor, because the battle, the reaction against ourselves has to stop, because that is part of what's creating the battle in the world. So let's just take some time today, tomorrow, whenever, and just be curious, just notice when you react, and don't react to your reaction, please. Just notice it. Or if you can't help reacting to the fact that you're reacting, just notice how many steps you can go back before you can actually just let it do its thing and not react to it. Let's give it a try. Please go to my website, divinefeminineflow.com, if you need to reach out for support, or there might be some good blog articles in there. And just get curious about this and see if it resonates. All right, my friends, have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.